Before we answer all of your questions on today's Bears Mailbag, go ahead and subscribe to us on the Callin app. We've been doing weekly live shows, and we've told you guys a lot about Callin. Chatsports.com/BearsCallin is the place to go and download the app and subscribe today. It's an app where it's like Twitter Spaces meets podcasting. There's a caller line. You hop in the queue. I pod you up. We answer your questions. We talk back and forth, and I just get you guys caught up on the latest Bears news and rumors. It's an audio format, but there's also a live chat over there. But I want to hear directly from you guys. The live chat on YouTube is fun. I can read your questions, but I want to hear from you guys. Chatsports.com/BearsCallin. Go ahead and subscribe today, and let's get to 1,000 followers by week 1. You know why that's my goal? Because if we hit that number, good chance we're going to be able to do live post-game shows on Callin where you guys call me directly and ask your questions, give your thoughts after Bears wins and losses. That's my goal. Let's do it. Chatsports.com/BearsCallin. Welcome into Bears Now. Harrison Graham here. Time to answer all of your questions here on our mailbag, so we'll go ahead and get things started. Let's go to Kevin with the super chat. Who gets the first pick 6, number 9 or number 6? Ooh, man, that is a good question. Is it going to be Brisker or is it going to be Kyler Gordon? I'm going to say Brisker. I'm going to say Jaquan Brisker gets the first interception for the Chicago Bears. Number 9 is who I'm rolling with. Wanted to double check there. He's 9, and Gordon is 6. Wanted to double check, but I think it's going to be Brisker. So type 9 or 6. Who do you guys think? Type 9 for Brisker. Type 6 for Gordon. Who gets the first pick 6 for the Chicago Bears? Lucas Prang with the super chat. Jenkins says he's the right tackle. Thoughts? Yeah, look, on Tuesday he said, I've been told I'm a right tackle, so that's his position. I don't know if that means like he's the starting right tackle. I think that's the goal. That's where he is right now, unless someone takes it from him. I like him better at right tackle, Lucas, to answer your question. I liked him out of Oklahoma State. I was frankly surprised when after they drafted him last year, they said they're immediately moving him to left tackle. Not that he can't do it, but he played a lot more right in college, and I think that's his natural position. If he has to play left tackle in a pinch, that's value in itself. But look, if you get a good, solid right tackle in the second round, that's a worthwhile draft pick. Bubba Bold, should the Bears sign Anthony Barr? Well, Bubba Bold, I'm open to it. NFC North guy. He's been with the Vikings his entire career. You look at the Bears linebacker unit right now. Roquan Smith, obviously, your main guy there. Nicholas Morrow, I think he's going to be pretty good. We'll see what he shows. Matt Adams isn't really a starter. I don't think he's that LB3, more of a special teams guy. I think Jack Sanborn, the rookie, is a dark horse to start, but Anthony Barr is another more of an outside linebacker guy, would be a nice addition. He really would. He would probably be your second backer after Roquan with Nick Morrow in the mix as well. So I'm open to it. I don't think he'll cost a ton of money. He's had some injuries over the past couple of years. 2 years ago, only played in 2 games. This past year, I think he played in 12, so he's definitely missed some time. But as a number 2 or 3 linebacker, yeah, I think it'd be a nice addition. What do you guys think? Should the Bears sign Anthony Barr? Type S for sign, type P for pass. Where do you guys stack up on this one? Do you want Anthony Barr in Chicago? Next up with the super chat from James. Appreciate all the super chats. FDET, I'm sure that's directed at Don Burr. Mooney going to show who he is. A wide receiver 1 will be confirmed. No more dispute after the season. I'm with you, James. I think right now he's clearly the Bears wide receiver 1. And what have I said for a couple of months? In NFL circles, he's a number 2 right now, nationally. But for the Bears, for what they have, he's the number 1. But if he has another 1,000-plus yard season, he's confirmed as a number 1 receiver. I completely agree. I just want to see him prove it again. He's played 2 years in the NFL. I think another big season, he's a number 1, no doubt about it. Tough guy, $5. Appreciate it. Possibility of Borom playing right guard next to Jenkins and Jones thrown to the fire at left tackle due to scheme. You mean Braxton Jones at left tackle. I guess it's possible. I think Borom playing right guard, that idea has been thrown out there, and I'm open to it. Look, coming out of college, most projected him more as a guard, but he played tackle last season, and so the Bears have him this season. But ideally, if he can play left tackle, that's great because that's a much more high-leverage position. But if he can play at right guard, that's fine too. I don't know about Braxton Jones as a rookie starting at left tackle as a 5th, 6th round pick. But it's possible, I guess. I think if you move Borom to guard, that probably means you're signing a veteran tackle. Alan Watson, $5. FDET, it's getting rolling in the chat. Everyone is saying we are the worst team this year. Would you keep a top 3 pick or trade away for more capital if Justin Fields is for real? If Fields is for real, I don't think you'll be picking top 3. That's just my opinion. I think that, at worst, like if he has a real breakout season and plays well, at worst you're going to win 5 or 6 games, and that won't be a top 3 pick, I don't think. If you're picking top 3, that probably means Fields either got injured or he didn't play that well. Because I refuse to accept this idea that the Bears are a 2 or 3 win team. I just don't see it. But I'll get back to the question. Would I trade away or keep it? Let's say Fields flops and you have a top 3 pick. Drafting a quarterback could be an option. Let's mention that. I don't think that's going to happen, but that would have to be on the table. In general, I would probably keep it and just draft the best player available, whether it's a lineman, receiver, or pass rusher or something else. But it's too early to say who that player might be. Make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button here on Chicago Bears Now, because we have daily videos, whether it's the latest news, rumors, live shows on Tuesday, breaking news situations, or other segments. We have you covered on a daily basis. Turn on those notifications to all. After you subscribe, you hit the little bell, then select all. You'll be in good shape there. That way you get notified every single time we publish a video. James, next up, $2. Appreciate the super. Bring back Olin Kreutz. We need a bruiser. Half kidding. Yeah, he's not playing again. That's for sure. He's too old. But I know what you're saying. You need some attitude on that O-line. I will say, I think Lucas Patrick is going to bring that attitude to this group. Bear Forever, another super chat. If you guys keep super chatting, we'll keep answering questions. How much better do you think the NFC North is from last year, and how do you think the division stacks up this year? I don't know if it's better from last year, honestly. I mean, let's think about it. The Packers, on paper, are worse. There's just no doubt about it. Doesn't mean they'll be worse, but on paper, they're worse. And all we can go about is on paper right now. They lost Devontae Adams. They lost Marquez Valdes-Scantling. That's 2 weapons on offense they lost. They lost a couple of pieces on defense, too. Za'Darius Smith is gone. I mean, they got worse on paper. Maybe they'll be better, but I think there's at least some reason to think they're going to fall back a little bit. Still probably the best team in the division, but they're worse. The Bears, they won 6 games last year. I think they can win 6 this year. Obviously, a lot of turnover on the roster and new coaching staffs. I think 6 wins is very feasible, and I think they'll win more than that if Justin Fields proves he is the real deal. Minnesota, maybe they're a little bit better, so maybe in that front the division has gotten better. Detroit, maybe a little better. So maybe it's a net improvement for the division, but I think the best team got worse. So I think it's kind of similar. I don't think the NFC North is going to be crazy difficult this year. Zane Gray with $5. Do you think the Pats are going to cut Nelson Agholor? If they do, should the Bears sign him? I'd be open to it. Aguilar's had a really weird career. Could not catch the ball with Philly. Super inconsistent there. Goes to the Raiders, has a career year. Gets lost in New England last season, kind of reverts back to not being productive. I'd be open to it. He could compete with, guys like St. Brown and, Dante Pettis and so forth. He's more accomplished than those guys, but I don't think he'd be anything more than like a wide receiver 3 type. Question for you guys. Who was the quarterback of the Bears when you became a Bears fan? Maybe it was all the way back with Sid Luckman in the 40s. Maybe we got some, 80s and 90s year-olds watching. If you are, that's awesome, by the way. Maybe it was Jim McMahon. Maybe it was, Kyle Orton or one of these other random quarterbacks. Caleb Haney, Josh McCown, Cutler, Grossman. I want to know, who was the Bears quarterback when you became a fan of this team? Chaz Mitchell, why isn't Thomas Graham starting? I mean, we have the CB depth chart. Let's go to that real quick here, Chaz. The reality is, who's he going to start over? You got Jaylon Johnson, who I know is getting second-team workouts on Tuesday. He's going to be a starter. Kyler Gordon's going to be a starter. They really like him, and barring, something unforeseen, he's going to start. And Tavon Young is a proven nickel when healthy. I guess he can compete with Young at nickel. That's a possibility. but he's not starting over Jaylon Johnson and Kyler Gordon. It's just not going to happen. This regime didn't draft him. He didn't play much last year. I liked how he played last year. I did. I think he should make this team and get to compete. But who's he starting over? If it's the answer's not Johnson or Gordon, maybe it's Young. That would surprise me. I'll say this: if he starts over Tavon Young, that means he's had a hell of an offseason. Oh, welcome back, Coach. Get the thanks Nagy's going in the chat. Thanks, Nagy. All right, from Matt himself, how's Mahomes doing in KC? Who gets more yards in this sad offense? Mooney receiving or Monty rushing? I'll go Mooney receiving. That was the case last year. I could see it going the other way, but I just think Khalil Herbert's going to get touches. I think they might use Tristan Ebner some out of the backfield, and I think Mooney will clearly be wide receiver 1, so I'll lean Mooney. But if the answer is Monty, that probably means he had like 11 or 1,200 yards, if not more. So that would be a good thing as well. Thanks, Nagy. Amos Goldberg, what about that last linebacker spot? Nakobe Dean was there at 71. They'd already gone defense twice, Amos. I mean, you guys were begging for offense, and now you wanted them to go defense 3 times. They need a playmaker. They went Velus Jones Jr. That's been well documented. A lot of people thought that was an overreach, but they like him. They think he'll be a weapon. I'm grown to the idea of that pick at 71. I would have been fine with Dean, but you would have gone, the first 4 rounds of the draft without taking an offensive player. I don't know if that would have been wise. Pearson Adam, do you think Jaylon Johnson is overrated by Bears fans but underrated by the national media? I could see that. I think he's a good corner. I think he's a low-end CB1, high-end CB2 right now. I think this year he has a chance to really break out and be a true CB1. I do think that in the national media, people don't know him. That's because, through 2 seasons, he's been on a team that hasn't been that good. So I think there's some truth to that, Pearson. We probably overrate him a little bit, but I think national media heads may not even know who he is, for being completely honest. Be sure you guys subscribe here on Callin. We told you at the top of this show that we go live every week. It's our chance to interact with you directly. I want to hear you call me sports radio style, like, hey, Harrison, what's up? You guys have been great already. You can ask me your questions directly over there, chatsports.com/BearsCallin. Hit us with the sub. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers on the Callin app before football season gets going in September.